We went from several generations of hardworking Americans to a bunch of young fucking wussies who live at home with their moms until they're fucking 31 and can't take a punch because they're pussies. Can't make them get a job even though they're all in debt, and they'll lecture you about being politically correct. They're crying and whining, it's gotten pretty scary. So here's a song for all the fucking fairies. Fuck your feelings. No one gives a fuck about your issues, your problems, your shitty fucking luck. This generation's fucked. We're a bunch of fucking weaklings. So wipe your tears and fuck your fucking feelings. Yeah!
Tristan with Nerdette's NewsStand, and I want to talk about something I really started to notice, all along, but it really became apparent in the last 24 hours, and we're specifically going to relate this to DC Fandome and a lot of the news that we got, and specifically what we've seen from fans compared to YouTubers. And don't get me wrong, they are fans also, and everyone is obviously allowed to have their opinion. But what I want to talk about is specifically negativity, right? And what exactly feeds it, and what exactly we can learn by looking at the brain, what to expect from it, and so on and so forth. So when we talk about Freudian teaching, the ego is addicted to negative thinking, right? Because these people, whether it's me, you, or your neighbor, believe that negativity strengthens them. Even pain receptors in the brain feed on that addiction to negativity and want that constant replenishment. And we see this, and it's a lot of reason why there is very little surrounding things like DC Fandome in a positive light. Don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about all YouTubers, obviously. There is a nuance there with each channel. But somebody's going to click on something that says, I hate this, more than, oh my god, I'm so excited, right? So just like the SJWs, it feeds it with constant victimhood. It's not good enough for me. Why doesn't it work out for me? It was supposed to be made for me. It is a victimhood mentality. One time this person said one thing, so now I hate everything that's associated with it. One time this pro was mean to, some random person on Twitter, so now I hate everything, right? We see that a lot. And there is a small degree in the brain of awareness to that negativity and liking it. People love anger, and so does the ego. Because if not, you break that negativity cycle. It leads to new thoughts, new choices, new behaviors, new experiences, new emotion. And that will bring in your stress receptors. It will enable stress within your brain. Stress causes your body to then be knocked out of its homeostasis path, which leads you right back down the path to negativity. Your body is physically addicted to it. And you have to yourself break that cycle if you want ever a change. And if you're okay with it, that's great. That's you. Some people are just that way. But when your body gets knocked out of that homeostasis, your body will, basically relapse into that negativity. So your thoughts, basically, your stressors can make you sick. And so can a life full of negativity. So can you change it? Sure. But it's like an addiction to narcotics, right? People become very addicted. And whether it is on YouTube or, we see this a lot with dopamine rushes on Twitter. People become very addicted to the adrenaline and the stress hormone because it makes them feel something, anything. And it makes a conscious brain And it takes a conscious brain, rather, to change that, to evolve, to learn to love something, to learn that somebody else can love it, and it's okay. You don't have to. So it's something I had to personally learn with my anxiety, break away from the negativity until I could handle it again, right? And now I look at the world kind of in a different light. I can love and enjoy again without being mad about one thing. And that's definitely not perfect, right? I'm still learning how to do that. Like yesterday, when I was listening to John Ridley, his 4-issue miniseries, I'll use that as an example. It pissed me off. It sent that adrenaline. It brought those stress receptors back. And I wrote a community post. I was mad. And I look back and I'm like, why? They won't sell. DC already paid for them pre-Dan Didio. So they're just trying to break even, right? So let it fail. Plain and simple. I'm on my way, right? I will enjoy what I want to enjoy. Most people that are addicted, though, to these negative thoughts are just, basically just like drug addicts, in denial and unwilling to see the truth, so much so that they make excuses for it. Excuses and dependencies for it. It's just an opinion. But when your opinion is an opinion that's always negative, so much you will change things, right? Or leave things out to shape your narrative, just like we see with CNN and other things like that. That's when it is an addiction. That's really when you can tell the difference between a negative opinion and a negative life, right? So everyone can read between the lines. It's how YouTube and their audience becomes of the ego. And when confronted, you will absolutely see the backlash, the same as we see on the left. But instead of racist, it is SJW or NPC. It is right wing and left wing. Basically, SJW is all one and the same, just a mirror in the middle. An addiction to negativity is the same as victimhood. They're one and the same. They truly are. And I was there. Emotional last night, right to the point where my basal ganglion kicked in, and I'm mad at, as I'm listening, yelling "fucking asshole" for no reason, right? Like that's your initial vocal receptors and your basal ganglion, and that was me last night. But once you start seeing it, it's so fucking obvious. Let's use an example that I've wanted to talk about for a while, which would be race and gender swapping. Everyone's least favorite thing. But when we call for meritocracy, sometimes it works, right? There are exceptions that people will give, even if they preach about, race and gender swapping bad, and then they see somebody like Jeffrey Wright in the Batman, they're like, this one exception's okay. And it's because you like the person. You can maybe not agree with them politically, but they're a good actor. Again, meritocracy. But what if it adds to the story? And I want to use a perfect example, something I've been thinking about, Umbrella Academy, right? Specifically, a lot of people that really got into the show never read the trades, right? And Allison in the trade was white. Not a big deal. They race swapped her. In the show, she is black, but it adds to the story. It added with when they were in the 60s, the civil rights era, and her being activist. I know it's a taboo subject, and some will disagree, but let's talk about the multiverse. It isn't lazy. It's inclusive. Oh, I use that word. You hate that word, right? Inclusivity ruined a lot in nerd culture, yes. But it also created a lot of good in nerd culture. Even back in the 70s, Nubia, right? Or Calvin Ellis. All what most people will call tokenized characters, but to some, they are beloved characters. So why can't both exist? If we have a multiverse, they can. The gatekeepers and people who think they're entitled to those characters would probably disagree with me, but I'd rather have separate stories in continuity that deal with it, and then, the Elseworld stories where we can have Calvin Ellis as Superman. I see no issue with that. I just won't read it. I won't buy it. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I don't mind him as a character at all. I'm just using that as a simple example. I think for a while I went personally on autopilot. We all do that, right? Through repetition, we get hypnotized and weaponized to that hate. Unfortunately, most of what I'm saying today will fall on deaf ears because of that autopilot mentality. And autopilot is okay in some ways, right? Brushing our teeth before bed, saying prayers, saying please, thank you, all of those things, autopilot kicks in, and that's completely fine. But a negative look on everything in a case when autopilot needs to be stopped. Unfortunately, most will not. Now, kind of want to tie this all back, how it relates to YouTube, comics, journalism, and that's easy. Hate and negativity will always win out because the addiction to outrage on both sides. I'm not specifically just talking about left in this video. I'm talking actually more about right when it comes to this negativity. It's more outrage on the left, right? So, addiction to outrage on both sides will always be there. We always kind of choose as a human race the path of least resistance. And hate and anger, with that, our neurons are already plugged in to, hate and be angry. And they're plugged in that way, and that is the path of least resistance. So look at your favorite YouTuber, whoever you listen to the most when it comes to nerd culture. Do you ever see a positive video for them, praising something within geek culture that's good, praising someone that is good? It's not likely, and I'm a bit hypocritical. I'm just trying to make a point. Switch, to your ego then, which is your reactive mind. You need to switch from that, from labeling everything, and switch to your super ego. Relearn empathy, whether it is for females or people of color. Again, people are gonna hate me saying this, but it's truth. Relearn why. Maybe as a female, I might know what it's like to feel small. I might know what it's like to feel unwelcome in comics. I might know what it's like to feel dumb sometimes, whether it is in my videos or, in nursing, in real life, in reading anything. I might know what that's like. But also realize at the same time, we all go through those emotions. We all do. We all enjoy nerd culture. And I won't gatekeep or talk down to you because I want something different. I may present the facts, and the facts may be, that Bruce Wayne has always been a cis white male, and that's how I want to keep it. Those are facts, and, our opinions backed up by facts, right? Opinions are different than facts, which are different than feelings. And like I said in the beginning, in my little intro there, for both right-wing and left-wing SJWs from now on with my channel, you know what? Honestly, fuck your feelings. So, anyways, let me know what you guys think about this. I really started to notice this with DC Fandome, seeing some people calling it the whole thing cringy because of basically G. Willow Wilson being there. Like, come on, now just quit playing. That part wasn't for you. And that's okay. Sometimes that's okay. We need to learn to switch over to that super ego and accept empathy as a modern choice instead of negativity. So let me know, of course, what you guys think. If you think I'm wrong for, simply saying fuck your feelings and moving on, and doing what I want. So I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hey guys, I want to give a huge shout out to my Patreon and subscribe stars. You guys literally make this channel possible. Huge thank you to Cage the Mick, Robert Mick Twiz, Black Knight Fool, Brucey, Chris Z, David L, David Rafford, Jeffrey Allen Carnes, Mighty Paws, Mike Buckner, Maizen Barbosa, Ruskar, Ryan Decker, Robert Hoffman, and Doc Holliday. You guys are absolutely amazing, and thank you so much for all your support. Don't forget on the way out to like as always if you enjoy the content and hit subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.